Kind of regret buying this car. If I had bought an 800 horsepower gas car, I wouldn't be suffering like this. I had no idea that electricity would cost 1.8 yuan per kilowatt hour, about 25 cents. I originally thought 100 yuan, about 13.90 cents, would be more than enough. How much electricity can this car use anyway? Recently, a new domestic car model called the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra gained a lot of attention on major social media platforms. It was even nicknamed the gold-eating beast by many car owners. I've had the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra for 7 days now, and I've found one problem. After a full charge, I can only drive 200 to 300 kilometers. Right now, I'm on my way to the airport to test the 0 to 400 meters to straight line acceleration, and I've had to charge it twice already. Let me show you this video. With the ideal charging station, how fast can it charge? Can it really charge from 10% to 80% in 10 minutes? The fast charging station costs 1.5 yuan per kilowatt hour, and this electricity cost is almost as much as my 98 octane gas. The fastest charging station on the highway should be the one from Li Auto, and as you can see, the charging power is 201 kilowatts, and the charging voltage is 800 volts. Actually, the car only had 50% battery left earlier, and charging from 5% to 80% took just over 20 minutes. If we were driving an 800 horsepower or 1000 horsepower G20 or M4 to the airport, this trip would take about 2.5 hours. But driving this Xiaomi electric car, including charging time, I'll need about 4 hours because I have to charge twice. Li Auto's charging station should be the fastest on the highway, but we don't often encounter these kinds of charging stations. If we find a regular one with only 60 or 80 kilowatt charging speed, the charging time will be even longer, and the overall trip will be delayed more. This is the problem with taking electric cars on long trips. Luckily, today isn't the weekend, so no one's fighting for charging stations, and the charging speed is still pretty fast. However, while the vlogger was still celebrating the fact that charging didn't require waiting in line, what happened next shocked him. Huh? Why did it stop charging at 75%? Let me check if I ran out of money. I just added 100 yuan, but how did it go so fast? Let me take a look. Now I have a balance of 2.27 yuan. I'm out of money, guys. I put in 100 yuan, and at 1.5 yuan per kilowatt hour, it's already gone. I only have 2.27 yuan left. I need to put in more money to get it to 90%. Alright, I just added another 100 yuan. So now my balance is 102 yuan. Wait, what's going on? Now it's 1.86 yuan per kilowatt hour? It was 1.5 yuan just a minute ago. Why did 100 yuan only get me to 75%? It's not 1.5 yuan anymore. It's 1.86 yuan per kilowatt hour. At this rate, it's more expensive than using 98 octane gas. Some people said they've already spent 200 yuan on charging before even reaching the airport. I won't make it by 4 o'clock. I still need to charge here to reach 90%, so I can test the 0 to 4 acceleration. Otherwise, I won't get the maximum power. This is the hassle of electric cars. What surprised the blogger even more was that after recharging 100 yuan, it quickly disappeared. The gold-eating beast, nickname for the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, turned out to be well-deserved. Why is it stopping again? I've got enough money. Why did it stop at 95%? It could be the problem with the Li Auto charging station, but there's nothing I can do. Today, I'll just have to stop at 95%. Then, we'll head to the airport. But before I get there, I still have to charge again to get the battery above 95% to get there the best 0 to 4 performance. I didn't buy this electric car thinking I was at 150 horsepower performance car. I bought a battery daddy. Let me tell you, at this rate, we won't make it before it gets dark. Remember to switch to eco mode to save some money. Some users also expressed frustration with the car's range, saying they couldn't stand it anymore. One even stated, "No matter how much money I lose, I'm selling this car." Alright guys, I'm driving my little green car from Sichuan to Guangzhou, over 1,480 kilometers. Let's see how long it'll take. It's 8 p.m. now. I've charged it to 90% and it stopped again. Now I can't charge anymore. Not sure what's going on. The range is really disappointing. Now I'm getting about 350 kilometers on the highway. After 350 kilometers, I'll have only a few dozen kilometers left and need to charge. If you only have one car at home, or if you often drive long distances, don't buy all electric cars. Why? To be honest, I've driven this car over 1,600 kilometers from Chengdu to Dongguan, and you know what the biggest problem is with this car? The range. I was still driving on autopilot on the highway, and you know, I also have an NIO. When it runs out of power, I can just swap the battery, but with this car, when it runs out of battery, I can only go to charge it. Officially, they say it only takes 11 minutes to charge from 10% to 80%, but in reality, you won't find such fast charging stations on the highway or at service stations. In the comment section, some user exclaims, "The cost to charge my car once is higher than the cost of fueling my old gas car." Another user jokes, "Driving this car, I always feel the money is constantly flying out of my pocket. It's like every time I press the accelerator, I'm throwing out money." Others mention that fast charging requires waiting in line, and during peak hours, the electricity price doubles, making it even more expensive than gasoline. Not only that, but the gold-eating beast seems to be devouring more than just the owner's charging fees. It's also taking a toll on after-sale service costs. A post in a car owner forum caught attention with its sharp headline, "Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, the true gold-eating beast. Anyone who buys it regrets it." The post's author was upset, explaining that he originally bought the so-called game-changing electric vehicle with the mindset of being eco-friendly, cost-effective, and supporting domestic electric vehicles. However, after just 3 months, he regretted his decision. Not only was the charging cost higher than his previous gas-fueled costs, but maintenance and repairs were outrageously expensive. The post's author angrily said, "Where's the promised savings? Now it feels like I'm burning money." Another owner, Xiao Zhou from Guangzhou, explained about the maintenance costs from the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, saying he was stunned. Replacing a brake pad costs over 3,000 yuan because of the intelligent energy recovery system and special materials. To keep the warranty, I have to use officially certified parts, and that doesn't even include labor costs. It's less than a year. I've spent almost 20,000 yuan on maintenance. He was also frustrated by an incident where a slight loosening of the battery compartment bolts was found at a testing center. The 4S store charged an unusually high labor fee, citing the need for a professional team to disassemble the battery pack. Xiao Zhou sighed, saying, "They say electric cars have long maintenance cycles and don't need oil changes, but with this car, I haven't seen any savings, just expensive maintenance fees." Additionally, software updates and the bundling of features have been criticized as traps. Car owners have expressed frustration over the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, as it often adds new features after system upgrades, but also splits previously free services into paid options. For example, advanced remote parking was initially included with the car, but after a system update, the company claimed that to provide a safer and more complete version, users would now need to pay a monthly or annual subscription fee, with additional charges for GPS navigation, anti-theft tracking, and entertainment systems. Many owners complain that they are forced to pay a significant digital tax to the manufacturer each year. Some users humorously commented, "Buying a car now is like buying a half-finished product that needs constant recharging and upgrading. What's the difference between this and paying for VIP status in a mobile home?" When they tried to find third-party solutions, they discovered that the car's system is tightly encrypted or feared losing the entire warranty if they modified the system. This left car owners with no choice but to use official channels, where the manufacturer could set the prices freely. Some car owners believe that the problem may not just lie with the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, but with the Xiaomi brand as a whole. Xiaomi cars are bound to fail. I used to be a loyal Xiaomi fan. I've used about 3 or 4 generations of their phones, but every single camera was crooked. No way, every single one was crooked. Yeah, if Xiaomi doesn't change the approach to things, I don't think the Xiaomi SU7 will be a good experience. Don't listen to those car TikTokers praising the Xiaomi SU7. Ask them, how many of them are not getting paid to do so? When the car actually comes out, everyone will see. Just look at the details. My wife recently told me she wanted to switch to a Xiaomi SU7, and I absolutely wouldn't let her, no matter how cheap it was. Making cars costs money. Long range of 500 to or 600 kilometers. The battery alone costs 70,000 or 80,000 yuan, plus labor, logistics, and other costs. It adds up to nearly 100,000 yuan. Then, if you factor in the real leather seats, sound system, car system, control system, etc., selling it for too cheap won't work. When I bought my Tesla Model X in 2017, the biggest issue was the car creaking. Can you imagine a car worth over 1,000,000 yuan creaking when it goes over bumps? The doors and seats were rubbing against each other, and that's why I ended up replacing it. Making cars is a complex mechanical system, and it definitely requires experience. If you're willing to contribute your personal data for the Xiaomi SU7, I'm not stopping you. But as for me, would I switch to a Xiaomi SU7? No way. Interestingly, despite the widespread complaints, certain media and official statements continue to praise the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra. They claim this is an important step for Chinese car brands to go global, and its highway range requires 500 kilometers, with urban commuting costs far lower than traditional gas cars. These attractive statements may seem tempting, but actual users are grappling with high costs and frequent breakdowns. As a result, numerous satirical posts have emerged online. The officials say it's the peak, but owners say it's a deep pit. This has led most observers to question who is telling the truth. Many believe there may be larger power and financial interests at play behind the scenes. First, the strong support and policy subsidies from the Chinese government are a key part of this power and financial entanglement. To understand why the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra has become a true gold-eating beast, one cannot avoid the broader issue of political and market structure. In China, the electric vehicle industry is often viewed by the government as a strategic high ground. It is not only important for economic development, but also carries political significance tied to national pride and the future of the country. Over the past decade, the government has offered large subsidies or policy support to the electric vehicle industry, and local governments have competed to attract investment, hoping to use it as a performance project. With strong backing from the CCP, various companies have entered the market. As long as a company is associated with electric vehicles, capital quickly flows in. Many products, still far from maturity, receive substantial funding and promotional resources. For brands like the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, there is often substantial government endorsement, such as support from rapid development of charging stations in cities, priority in displays, and even positive media coverage arranged by official outlets. This type of cutting corners approach has allowed companies to gain significant market advantages before their research and development were solidly established. As a result, performance issues and user experience are often overlooked or deliberately downplayed. The outcome is that electric cars, which are heavily promoted at launch, expose numerous flaws during actual use. In addition, information censorship and public opinion control under the CCP system play a significant role. Abroad, the government often needs to showcase how Chinese manufacturing leads the world to foster a sense of national pride. However, when the reality contradicts the official narrative, it is often downplayed or blocked using various methods. Traditional media must adhere to censorship guidelines and may also rely on advertising revenue from the government and manufacturers, which limits their ability to conduct independent investigations or negative reporting. As a result, negative voices lack effective outlets. The issue with the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra can only spread through word of mouth or small forums. When public opinion becomes irreversible, the government resorts to various image campaigns to attempt to clean up the narrative. For many consumers, before purchasing, they are exposed only to glowing praise and lofty reports, making it difficult to find objective and neutral reviews. However, external observers have noticed that the CCP's reasoning behind this is not just about national pride and the future of the country. There is also a desire to profit. Under the influence of nationalism, the concept of loving the brand has become a tool to exploit consumers. Phrases like, "anyone who doubts the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra doesn't love their country," and "supporting domestic electric vehicles means supporting national revival," frequently appear online, making it difficult for real consumers to discuss quality issues without hesitation. This provides companies with a get-out-of-jail-free card. As long as they carry the patriotism label, technical flaws and raising costs are cleverly shifted to claims of foreign forces smearing or lack of support for domestic brands. As a result, ordinary people, even if they face injustice or harm, are overshadowed by a large narrative and struggle to speak up. This allows the exploitation to continue. On the other hand, experts point out that problems with a car are directly related to technical shortcomings. From a technical perspective, if a company has not built a solid research and development system and only relies on marketing to gain short-term advantages with strong government business ties to capture market share, systematic issues are inevitable. Electric vehicles are a complex integrated technology that requires long-term investment, rigorous testing, and a well-coordinated supply chain. However, in an environment dominated by pragmatism and inflated promises, companies may invest more resources in marketing, packaging, and cooperation with officials, rather than focusing on core technologies like the driving system, battery management, and material optimization. When genuine R&D capabilities are lacking, it is easy for high maintenance costs and unexpected system failures to arise. The Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, pushed to market as a half-finished project, may be a typical victim of this model. The Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, which has been widely discussed recently, has promised some users to argue that electric vehicles should be the future trend. However, they claim that in an environment of heavy marketing and manipulation, consumer trust has been repeatedly eroded. While the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra is currently seen as a gold-eating beast, some worry that other similar supercars may appear, further shaping public perception. Over time, this could lead to a decline in confidence in domestic innovation and foster skepticism or resistance toward emerging technologies. which could have broader social implications. Some users also pointed out the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra is not just a commercial failure, but a reflection. The CCP has always promoted the idea of achieving overtaking on a bend with electric vehicles, breaking the traditional Western car companies' technology monopoly. But if this ambition is not based on solid R&D and an open competitive environment, it could easily lead to a failure on the bend.